This riddle I'm about to share with you might seem nearly impossible to solve. They say if you can solve this riddle, you're smarter than 99% of people alive today. Think you've got what it takes to beat the impossible?
You know what Alexander once said?
There is nothing impossible to him who will try.
So let's find out if that's true.
There was a famous actor known for his impeccable performances in Hollywood. He had starred in numerous hit movies and had won countless awards for his work. He was the epitome of success, and the public adored him. But with all the fame came immense pressure. The actor's life was far from easy. While he had everything many people would dream of, money, fame, and recognition, he was constantly battling stress. The media was always watching his every move, and the pressure to maintain his image was overwhelming. His personal life was scrutinized, and he couldn't step outside without being bombarded by cameras. To cope with the pressures of his busy life, the actor had developed some rather peculiar habits. One of his favorites was to take long, relaxing baths after a long day of work. He found that nothing calmed his nerves quite like sinking into a hot bath with soft music playing in the background. But there was one more thing that made these baths even more special: aged cheese. Yes, the actor had a love for fine cheeses, particularly the aged varieties. He would savor these cheeses during his baths, claiming that the warmth of the water made the flavors more intense. He never ate anything else while bathing, but aged cheese was always a must. One evening, as the actor was unwinding in his bath, enjoying a large wedge of his favorite Gouda, he decided to tune into his old radio for some background noise. The soft crackle of the station filled the room, and the actor sank further into the tub, enjoying the peace. Suddenly, the peaceful moment was interrupted by a chilling announcement. Breaking news. A well-known serial killer has escaped from prison. This killer, known for targeting celebrities, has eluded capture once again. The killer has a notorious history of leaving behind cassette tapes of their victims' last words. The tapes are found with the bodies, and 5 seconds after the tape ends, the victim dies. Authorities are on high alert. Stay tuned for more updates. The actor's eyes widened. He had heard about the serial killer before, but he never imagined it would be happening right now, during a time when his life was under so much pressure. Could he be next? He had often been the subject of media attention, and this killer targeted the rich and famous. A sense of unease washed over him, but he tried to brush it off. After all, he had his own life to live. He had to finish his bath, enjoy his cheese, and focus on the things that made him feel calm. But just as he finished savoring his cheese, something felt off. He began feeling dizzy, and his vision blurred. He tried to stand up, but his legs felt weak. It didn't take long before he collapsed in the bath, the warm water mixing with the shock and confusion in his body. 5 seconds later, he was dead. When the police arrived at the scene, they found him lifeless in the tub. The radio was still on, quietly playing music, and a half-eaten wedge of cheese rested on the side of the tub. There was no sign of a struggle, no visible wounds, and no obvious cause of death. They suspected that he might have suffered a heart attack, but that didn't explain the strange circumstances surrounding his death. The police quickly began their investigation. They started with the people closest to the actor, the ones who had been around him before his sudden death. There were 5 primary suspects. 1. The wife. She had been married to the actor for years. When questioned, she said she wasn't at home when her husband died. She had been out with friends, and by the time she returned, she had heard about his death. 2. The chef. The chef who prepared the actor's meals was also questioned. He explained that he had been in the kitchen earlier that evening, preparing food for the actor's upcoming dinner. He claimed he hadn't seen or heard anything unusual. He also mentioned that the actor had asked for his favorite cheese earlier in the day. 3. The bodyguard. The bodyguard was next on the list. When asked about his whereabouts, he claimed he had broken his leg and was at the hospital. He said he couldn't have been anywhere near the actor during the incident. 4. The gardener. The gardener, who had been tending to the flowers outside, was also questioned. He said he had been outside, watering the flowers with the chef. The two men had been working together in the garden all evening and had no idea anything was wrong until they heard the news. 5. The serial killer. Finally, the police looked into the possibility that the serial killer had struck again. There were no immediate leads on the killer's whereabouts, and the authorities were still searching for him. The idea of the actor being a target was unsettling, but there was no concrete evidence to support it. As the investigation unfolded, the police began to piece things together. They noticed something strange. The actor had died in an unusually calm state, especially considering the suddenness of his death. The fact that he was alone in the bath with no signs of struggle pointed to the possibility that he had been poisoned or incapacitated before the fatal event. The question is as follows: who killed the actor? Think you know the answer? Drop your guess in the comments below. Can you crack the case before anyone else? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more mind-bending riddles and mysteries. We'll see you in the next one.